Weddings are supposed to be magical, a celebration of love, laughter, and happily ever afters. But for some, they become the stage for something else entirely: ego, jealousy, and regret. The kind of day where buried history resurfaces at the worst possible moment. For Monica, it was just another weekend. She had no interest in ballrooms or designer dresses. But when she received a wedding invitation with two names that made her heart stop, Ashley Jennings and Connor Bradford, she realized this wasn't going to be just any wedding. Because Ashley had once made her life a quiet misery in high school. And Connor, he was Monica's most promising employee, her rising star, her protege. The groom, it turned out, worked for the woman his bride had spent years belittling. Ashley thought she was humiliating the quiet girl from the past, but she had no idea Monica wasn't the same girl anymore. And this time she wasn't going to stay silent. Monica Taylor never quite fit in. In her small hometown of Ridgewater, New Jersey, life revolved around cheerleading tryouts, football games, and cliques that were carved in stone before kids hit puberty. Monica wasn't unpopular, just invisible. The kind of girl teachers loved, but other students forgot existed. She kept her hair in a ponytail, wore jeans that were handed down from cousins, and carried a backpack bursting with worn-out books and half-scribbled notes. Ashley Jennings, on the other hand, was Ridgewater's golden girl. Blonde, loud, and always in the middle of everything. She didn't just walk through the school hallways, she floated. Cheer captain by sophomore year, homecoming queen by junior year, and already dating college guys before senior prom. Her laugh echoed off lockers like a bell. Her clothes were always the latest trend, and her social media was a curated timeline of perfection. Monica and Ashley shouldn't have been friends, but somehow they were. At least that's what Monica told herself back then. They met in 4th grade during a school talent show. Monica had nervously recited a poem about outer space. Ashley had sung a pop song off-key but earned thunderous applause. After the show, Ashley complimented her. "You're really smart." Like NASA smart. It felt like a genuine moment. The first time Monica felt seen. From that day on, Ashley started inviting her over. Not regularly, and never to the cool gatherings, but for group projects, occasional sleepovers, and sometimes just to copy her homework. Monica didn't mind. It felt good to be needed. Even if Ashley often teased her. "You're like my little science robot," she once joked during a study session. "All brains, no fun." Monica smiled through it. Laughed even, because it was better than being ignored. Better than being alone. She believed that if she just proved herself, kept being useful, Ashley might one day treat her as a real friend, not just a background character. But high school changed things. Ashley grew bolder. Crueler, even. The teasing turned sharper. Public. She once joked in front of the entire cafeteria, "Monica's gonna marry a calculator one day." Everyone laughed. Monica flushed, cheeks burning, but said nothing. She never said anything. By graduation, they barely spoke. Ashley went on to flirt with the idea of modeling, hopping between part-time jobs and beach photo shoots. Monica, meanwhile, earned a full-ride scholarship to Cornell. She left Ridgewater in the rearview mirror and never looked back. College was the first time Monica felt free. No more nicknames, no more shadows. She thrived. Majored in business analytics and minored in communications, surprising even herself. She still didn't talk much, but when she did, people listened. She interned for 2 major firms, graduated top of her class, and was recruited immediately by a Fortune 500 company in Manhattan. By the time she turned 32, Monica was one of the youngest regional directors in her firm's history. She managed over 200 employees, led innovation teams, and spoke at leadership summits, quietly, efficiently, powerfully. And that's how she met Connor Bradford. He joined her department as a junior analyst, bright, eager, kind. The kind of young man who respected everyone, no matter their rank. Monica noticed him during a Monday meeting where he challenged an outdated metric model and proposed a more agile framework. He was bold but respectful. She liked that. She took him under her wing. Over 2 years, Connor rose quickly. His work ethic was unmatched. They had a mentor-mentee relationship that was built on mutual trust and admiration. Monica saw a lot of herself in him, ambition without arrogance, vision with humility. So, when she received that glossy envelope in the mail, her heart skipped a beat. Ashley Jennings and Connor Bradford. She stared at the names over and over, unsure whether to laugh or drop the envelope in the shredder. Was it the same Ashley? And was Connor really marrying her? It didn't make sense. Ashley, with her glitzy social media presence and shallow charm. And Connor, the thoughtful, respectful young man who always asked Monica's opinion before making decisions. She debated whether to go. It wasn't exactly her scene. But curiosity got the best of her. Besides, it was Connor's wedding. He was practically family in the office. If nothing else, she wanted to see it for herself. So she RSVP'd yes and prepared to face a ghost from her past. The wedding was held at a private estate in the Hamptons, lavish, extravagant, complete with gold-accented everything. A flower wall for Instagram photos and a string quartet playing pop music covers. Monica arrived in a sleek navy dress, minimalist but elegant. Her hair was up, her makeup subtle. She looked nothing like the mouse Ashley used to tease. But as soon as she walked through the gates, she felt the air shift. Old habits die hard. There were whispers, sideways glances. Ashley's bridesmaids, most of whom looked like they hadn't outgrown high school, were already sipping champagne and eyeing Monica like she'd walked in wearing a Walmart dress. She didn't care. She moved through the crowd with quiet grace, taking a seat toward the middle. Connor hadn't arrived yet. Monica scanned the space but didn't see him. Instead, she saw Ashley. And yes, it was her. Same golden hair, same flawless smile, but now wrapped in a white designer gown that screamed, "Look at me." She was laughing too loudly, showing off her ring, and directing her bridesmaids like a film director on a fashion set. Their eyes met. Ashley paused. A flicker of recognition crossed her face, then a smirk. "Monica?" she called, striding over. In heels worth more than most people's rent. "Wow, you actually came," Monica smiled. "Hi Ashley, it's been a long time." Ashley leaned in for a kiss on the cheek that never landed. "I didn't think you'd still be in New Jersey." "I'm not," Monica replied calmly. "I live in Manhattan now." Ashley's eyebrows rose slightly, but she recovered quickly. "Oh, good for you. Are you still doing, like, science stuff?" "I work in tech leadership," Monica said simply. Ashley smiled wide, but her eyes narrowed just a touch. "Of course, you always were the brainy one. It's cute that you came. Connor invited the whole office?" Monica's smile didn't waver. "Just a few people. I guess he wanted me to be here." Ashley tilted her head. "That's sweet. You were always good at being helpful." It was a dig. Monica knew it, but she wasn't biting. Before she could respond, Ashley added, loud enough for others nearby to hear, "You clean up well. If I didn't know better, I'd think you actually belonged here." There it was. The same Ashley. Glittered on the outside, bitter on the inside. And Monica realized Ashley hadn't changed at all. The ceremony was picturesque. White rose petals floated on the breeze as Ashley walked down the aisle to an orchestral version of a Taylor Swift song. Guests wiped tears, phones flashed. And Connor, waiting at the altar, looked every bit the proud, loving groom. Monica watched quietly from the third row, her face unreadable. She smiled politely at the heartfelt vows. She clapped at the kiss. And as the guests began migrating to the reception, tent lit by thousands of fairy lights and extravagant floral displays, she felt oddly detached from it all. But the storm was coming. At the reception, guests mingled near champagne towers and velvet canapé trays. Monica tried to stay in the background, speaking to a few co-workers, dodging questions about her personal life. She didn't know many people there, and that was fine. Until Ashley grabbed the mic. It was time for speeches. She tapped the microphone with her glittering nails, calling attention with a breathy, fake, giddy laugh. Okay, everyone. I just wanted to say a few words. Because today is like the best day of my life. And I'm so lucky to be marrying someone as amazing as Connor. She giggled. He's smart, sweet, kind. And bonus, easy on the eyes, right, ladies? Laughter filled the room. Monica sipped her drink slowly. Ashley continued, pacing dramatically. But you know, it's funny how life works. Sometimes the people you grow up with stay exactly the same. She looked straight at Monica. Monica met her gaze, unflinching. Ashley went on, her tone light but laced with venom. I mean, some people never change. Take Monica Taylor over there. Yes, you guys, Monica and I go way back. All the way to grade school. She used to help me with homework and stuff. Total brainiac. A few guests glanced toward Monica. Whispering began. Ashley smiled sweetly. She's always been quiet, kind of invisible, you know? But look at her now, dressed up and everything. Who would have thought? Chuckles rippled uncomfortably through the tent. Monica didn't move. Her eyes remained steady, locked on Ashley. Ashley, sensing the power, stepped closer. You know, there's something sweet about watching the underdog show up, isn't there? Gives the rest of us hope that even the bookworms can have their Cinderella moment. A few people laughed. It was cruel, pointed, intentional, and then she delivered the line that turned the room. Honestly, I was surprised to see you here, Monica. I mean, Connor must have invited you out of pity or something. Or maybe you're one of his interns. She paused. You are still in admin, right? The mic caught the snickers. Monica could see Connor across the room, frowning, confused. And then Monica stood gracefully, calmly. She walked up toward the stage with measured steps, set her drink down, and gently took the second microphone from the stand. The room fell silent. Monica smiled. Actually, Ashley, she said with quiet poise, I'm Connor's boss. Ashley blinked. Laughter, applause, gasps. None. Just silence, until Monica added, I'm the regional director for West Coast operations at TechPlus. I recruited Connor 2 years ago. He now manages 3 teams and is up for a national leadership program I personally nominated him for. Murmurs stirred. Monica's voice remained soft but powerful. So no, I'm not in admin. But I know exactly what it looks like when someone abuses a microphone to project their own insecurity. The air snapped. Ashley's face had frozen into a smile so tight it looked painful. Monica turned to the crowd. And since we're being open, Connor's going to make an incredible husband. He's thoughtful, professional, and honest. Everything a leader should be, and everything I hope he'll continue to be. Even in the face of cruelty, dressed as charm. Then she looked back at Ashley, still calm, still composed. Congratulations on your wedding. And with that, Monica placed the mic back in the stand, turned, and walked away, heels clicking softly. Back straight. No drama. No shouting. Just dignity. The room buzzed. You could feel the collective shift in energy. Ashley was humiliated. Not just by Monica's words, but by the realization that the nobody from her childhood now held real power, real success, and real respect. Connor approached Monica quietly. Near the tent's edge, his face red with embarrassment. I am so sorry, he said, voice low. I had no idea she was going to say any of that. Monica offered a small, forgiving smile. It's your wedding day. It's not your fault. Connor hesitated. You didn't deserve that. None of it. And I didn't even know you two knew each other. We did, Monica replied. A long time ago. But some people grow. Others just decorate their old habits. Connor looked ashamed. I'll talk to her. Seriously, that was unacceptable. Monica placed a hand gently on his shoulder. Just remember this moment, Connor. Because character reveals itself in times like these. Congratulations, truly. But keep your eyes open. She left not long after. She had no interest in the dancing or dessert or the endless Instagram photos. The next morning, the wedding hangover wasn't from champagne, it was from shame. By sunrise, the story had already begun making its way through group chats, office Slack channels, and private DMs. A few guests had discreetly filmed the moment. Monica took the microphone. One video, in particular, went viral captioned, "When the bride humiliates the quiet girl," not knowing she's the groom's boss. Within hours, the clip had racked up thousands of views. By evening, millions. People didn't just sympathize with Monica, they celebrated her. She had become a symbol of quiet strength, of the underdog who didn't need to shout or seek revenge. Just a mic and the truth. Meanwhile, Ashley's social media, usually filled with edited selfies and inspirational quotes, was flooded with comments. So embarrassing. Mean girls never grow up. Hope your new husband likes sleeping on the couch. She thought Monica was just admin. Girl. Ashley tried damage control. She deleted comments, limited replies, even made her Instagram private. But the internet doesn't forget. Especially not when someone represents the exact kind of petty cruelty so many people have experienced in silence. By Monday, Monica was back at work, sitting in her corner office, sipping her usual black coffee. She didn't mention the video. She didn't have to. Every person in the building knew. Some approached her with subtle nods of respect. Others whispered her name like she was a legend. Connor entered her office that morning with a tense smile. "Monica," he began, closing the door behind him. "I don't even know where to begin." "You don't have to," she replied without looking up. "It's done." He sat across from her, folding his hands. "I feel like I owe you more than an apology." That speech? That was dour. She finally met his eyes. It wasn't about power, Connor. It was about dignity. He nodded slowly. "I've been thinking a lot since Saturday. About Ashley. About what kind of person I'm marrying." Monica raised a brow. "And what conclusion did you come to?" He hesitated. "That love and compatibility aren't always the same thing. I saw a side of her that night that I can't unsee." Monica didn't push further. It wasn't her place. She respected him too much for that. But later that week, she received a short email. Subject: Resignation notice. Monica, after much reflection, "I've decided to take a leave of absence to sort through some personal matters. Thank you for being the kind of leader who leads with grace. I've learned more from you than you'll ever know." Connor, while Monica remained composed and respected, Ashley's world began to fray. Brands that had once collaborated with her for lifestyle content began pulling away quietly. Her wedding photos, once intended to trend, became a meme template. POV: You humiliate the CEO's boss at your own wedding. The video was even featured on a popular YouTube commentary channel. The host dramatically reenacted the moment Monica took the mic, labeling it "Best Public Clapback in Wedding History." Ashley spiraled. She went on a live stream weeks later, trying to explain herself, blaming wedding stress, poor taste in humor, even accusing guests of misinterpreting her tone. But her downfall wasn't because of a single moment. It was what she symbolized. People saw in Ashley the bully who had mocked them in school, the coworker who rolled her eyes during meetings, the person who smiled to your face, then whispered behind your back. No apology came. Only excuses. And as her follower count dropped and her email offers dried up, Ashley began to understand. She hadn't just burned a bridge with Monica, she'd burned her own foundation. Monica, meanwhile, was offered a speaking engagement at A major women in leadership conference. The topic? Grace under fire. Leading with strength when you're underestimated. She almost declined, but then she thought about the girl she used to be. The one who stayed silent while others laughed. Who accepted crumbs of friendship from someone who saw her as nothing more than useful. She said yes. When she stood on the stage weeks later, in a navy pantsuit with a quiet confidence that filled the auditorium, she opened with, "Sometimes the best revenge is just becoming everything they said you'd never be." One day, months after the wedding, Monica received a handwritten letter. The envelope had no return address, but the handwriting was unmistakably Ashley's. It read, "Monica, I've been thinking about what happened. About us. About everything I said and did when we were younger. I used to think power was about being seen, about being envied. But you reminded me that real strength doesn't need an audience. I'm sorry, I really am. I hope someday you'll believe that." Ashley Monica read it once. Then again. And then she tucked it away in her desk, not to hold on to the pain, but to remind herself how far she'd come. Not all apologies change the past, but some serve as a quiet closure, and Monica had already moved forward, because some people stay stuck in high school forever, and others? They build empires.